Hi, I'm Kelly Sanders with Westway Feed Company. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about drought throughout the country. There's drought in the south and drought in the north. A lot of people are coming out of drought, but people are going into drought right now and having to make a lot of tough decisions. And it's not the first time over the last 20 years that producers have had to think about this and manage through it. And today, we have Dr. Robby Bondurant with us. Robby's one of our technical nutrition specialists. Managers out of the southeast, and Robby also covers part of Texas, and he's right in the middle of this drought in the south. And so, Robby, I want to just welcome you to what we're doing in the interview, and tell us a little bit about what you're seeing out there, but also give us kind of three management or three thoughts and that producers ought to really be thinking about right now going into this drought, and maybe some of them being into the drought that they need to consider.
For sure. You know, one of the things we got to keep in mind is that it is a challenging thing. It becomes emotional. It's stressful to go through. But we have to remember the long-term goals that we're trying to do as a beef producer, right? Mm-hmm. That's producing calves. It's sustaining the beef industry as a whole. Three of the things that I would say that I try to keep in mind and talk with to producers about is one, that you cannot starve profit out of a cow. No matter how you do it, it just can't be done. Cows require nutrients, protein, energy, dry matter, whether that's from forages, which are lacking right now because of the drought, or even supplemental dry matter through feedstuffs or hays. They have to have those nutrients in order to grow a calf during gestation, to milk, provide milk for that calf, and even have those nutrients to rebreed. And if we don't supply those nutrients, we're not going to have proper production. And so as hard as it may be, we simply can't starve that out of them. So that'd be number one. Number two, there are strategies or methods that we can implement through either feed technologies or even just supplemental dry matter products that can help alleviate the stress from not having forage, right? And so that's the problem right now, right?
Yeah,
we just don't have forage available because of the drought, or less of it. And so there are other methods, and they may cost more than usual, but if we can provide those products or provide those nutrients, we can either keep more of our herd or provide that so that we have calves the next year. And that brings me to the third point that I try to talk with producers and remind them that drought is temporary. And sometimes we get hung up in the fact that it's because it's emotional and stressful, we think long term in it, but we have to remember that what we do now impacts not only the calves that are being born then, but it also impacts that calf's productivity. And so if we're keeping replacement heifers out of our cows potentially through fetal programming, we're impacting their productivity long term in our herd. And so we cannot only think of it in the short term right now, that we still got to provide adequate nutrients. And so maybe there's opportunity where we cull a percentage of our herd up front so that we have those available nutrients for our good cows that are still there, and provide them what they need. But again, looking at it in a long-term scenario versus just short-term right now.
Yeah, Robby, that's a good point on culling cows, and that's always probably the toughest thing, I think, for a cowboy or a producer to do, is get rid of those cows. I mean, they're assets, and we just don't want to get rid of them. I have the same problem in my place. I don't want to get rid of more cows. I like them. But at the end of the day, we have to make some tough decisions. And what's your thoughts on culling early, and how much would you think you might actually need to cull going into a drought to really stretch that grass out a little bit? And what are some advantages to maybe culling a little bit deeper than what we would normally be comfortable doing when we first get into these droughts?
I think as far as the number or percentage of cows you might think about culling, probably depending on how severe the drought is, how much forage you have available. But obviously, if say your normal cull rate's 10%, you're probably going to be looking at double or more than that. 25 or 30% cull rate, and get rid of those cows early, in my opinion, so that you've got more resources available for your good cows. And not only you know, are you having more resources for your good cows, but you're also not letting those cows you are culling slip back into poor condition where when you do sell them, they're not worth anything. So sell them, if you sell them early, cull hard and early, and sell them up front before they lose a lot of condition, you're likely going to receive more for them at the, you know, sale barn or wherever you might sell them. And so that brings in additional cash flow to help you make it through the season.
Yeah, that or even get back into the market whenever this, like you said, it was temporary. So when this thing's over, you have some equity and some cash to be able to go out and buy some cows back during that time frame instead of, you know, having to have half the cash flow because we waited too long.
That's right.
And I can say I've seen that, you know, happen numerous times in my career as well. So those are really good suggestions for producers to be considering, especially going into the drought, or man, if you're having to make decisions right now. Those are good recommendations, Robby. So thanks for being with us today and giving your expertise to our producers out there. So have a good day.